This is Riley Mackenzie. Tuesday, October 15th. Time is I don't know, maybe 6:47 a.m.? Phone's dead. Recording on Lily's old digital voice recorder because she insists on documenting everything for her 8th grade journalism project. Oral history of the collapse, she calls it. Kids got morbid taste, but she's 13. They're all morbid at 13. We're on our bikes, heading east on Burnside toward the bridge. The air smells like smoke and something else. Something sweet and rotting that I keep telling myself is just the dumpsters behind the Pearl District restaurants we're passing. Lily's ahead of me by maybe 10 feet, her purple helmet bobbing as she pedals. She's got her backpack, the good one, the North Face I bought her for her birthday, stuffed with whatever she grabbed when we left the apartment. I've got mine with the camping supplies I always keep ready because I'm that dad. The paranoid one. The one with the bug-out bag and the water purification tablets. Turns out paranoid dads are correct sometimes. The bridges went down yesterday. Not structurally, they're still standing. But the infected, they started swarming them around noon. Burnside Bridge first, then Morrison, then Hawthorne. By 6 p.m., every bridge across the Willamette was packed with them. Thousands, tens of thousands, just standing there shoulder to shoulder, staring at the water, not moving, not attacking, just there. The alert started at 8 p.m. Emergency alert. Portland bridges compromised. Do not attempt crossings. We ignored the first dozen. We had food. We had water. Our apartments on the west side, 5th floor, good sight lines. We could wait it out. Then the power went out at 3 a.m. and I heard them in the stairwell. Not the infected, the living. Mrs. Kowalski from 4C screaming at someone. Glass breaking. Gunshots. 2 of them. Then silence worse than the screaming. I woke Lily up. Told her to pack. Told her we're going to her aunt's place in Gresham. East Side. Away from downtown. Away from the density. She asked why we couldn't stay. I told her buildings become tombs when the lights go out. She believed me because she's smart and because she heard the gunshots too. Now we're biking through the Pearl District in early morning light that's too orange, too hazy. The smoke's coming from the West Hills. I can see the glow when I look back. Forest fires, probably. Or the infected set something burning. Hard to tell. News stopped broadcasting around midnight. Last thing I heard was the governor declaring martial law and telling everyone to shelter in place. Shelter in place. That's rich. Like walls matter when your neighbors are trying to break down your door for your water. Lily slows at the intersection of NW 10th. Stops. Puts one foot down. I pull up beside her. Dad, she says. Which bridge? I don't answer immediately because I'm staring at the skyline. Downtown Portland looks wrong. All those glass towers reflecting the morning sun, but some of the windows are broken. I can see smoke coming from the upper floors of the Wells Fargo building. And the streets should have traffic. Even at this hour, there should be cars. Instead, there's just abandoned vehicles. Doors open. Contents spilled across the pavement. Dad, Lily says again, and there's an edge in her voice. The edge that means she's scared but trying not to show it. Steel Bridge, I tell her. It's the furthest north. Might have fewer of them. Might, she repeats. Yeah, might. She looks at me, and I can see her mom in her face. The same dark eyes. The same way of tilting her head when she's about to call bullshit on something I've said. Her mom died 3 years ago. Ovarian cancer, stage 4 by the time they found it. And Lily's looked more like her every day since. The alert said don't cross, she says. The alert said a lot of things, but specifically don't cross the bridges. Lily, we can't stay on the west side. Everything's burning or breaking. The east side's got suburbs, space, less density. Your Aunt Patricia's got the house with the big yard and the well water and she might be infected too, Lily finishes. Or dead. Or she might shoot us when we show up. She won't shoot us. You haven't talked to her in 2 years. She's still family. Lily doesn't respond to that, just looks east, toward the river we can't see yet, toward the bridges that have become barriers instead of connections. I check my watch. 6:52 a.m. The sun's fully up now, and I can hear sounds from the south. Not screaming, worse than screaming. A low noise, a humming. Thousands of voices making the same sound at once. We need to move, I say. Before they start moving. Do they move? Lily asks. The alerts said they just stand there. The alerts are 6 hours old. Things change. She nods, clips her foot back into her pedal. We start riding again. We head north on 10th, then cut east on Everett. The streets are eerily empty here. The Pearl District had people, some living, some not, but as we get closer to the industrial area near the river, it's just vacant. Buildings with metal siding, warehouses, loading docks, the kind of area that's always been transitional, always in the process of being developed into something else. Lily's pedaling faster now. I can tell she's anxious because she keeps looking over her shoulder, checking if I'm still behind her. I am, always am. That's the job. Stay close, keep her safe, get her across the river. The steel bridge comes into view at 7:03 a.m. I know the exact time because I check my watch right as we round the corner onto NW NATO Parkway, and the bridge just appears, rising up from the riverside, black steel against orange sky, and covered in bodies. Not as many as the other bridges. I can see Morrison Bridge to the south, and it's completely packed, the entire span hidden under infected, but enough. Maybe 300, maybe more. They're standing on the lower deck, the one that used to carry Max light rail trains and pedestrians. Standing shoulder to shoulder, not moving, just staring at the water like they're waiting for something to emerge. Lily stops, so suddenly I almost crash into her. Jesus, she whispers. Don't look at them, I say, which is stupid advice because how can you not look? They're right there, hundreds of them, and they look normal. That's the thing that gets me. They're not rotting. They're not covered in blood. They just look like people. Office workers still in their suits. Joggers in reflective vests. A woman in a hospital gown. A man in a Blazers jersey. They're just standing there. Dad, Lily says, and her voice cracks on the word. We can't cross that. The upper deck, I say, pointing. Look, the upper deck's clear. The steel bridge has 2 levels. Lower for trains and pedestrians, upper for vehicle traffic. The upper deck is maybe 20 feet above the lower one, and from what I can see, it's empty. No infected, no bodies, just empty lanes of concrete and steel. We bike up the access ramp. I continue, working it out as I speak. Stay on the upper deck. They're on the lower. We don't interact. We just cross. That's insane, Lily says. You have a better idea? She doesn't. Neither do I. But staying here isn't an option because I can hear that humming sound again, and it's getting louder. Coming from the south, from downtown, from all those bridges packed with infected. Okay, Lily says finally. Okay, but if they start climbing, they won't. But if they do, then we pedal faster than we've ever pedaled in our lives, and we hope the east side access ramp is clear. She nods, doesn't look convinced. I'm not convinced either, but we're out of choices. We start toward the bridge access ramp at 7:09 a.m. The ramp curves up from NATO Parkway, a long concrete slope that rises toward the upper deck. There's graffiti everywhere, tags and pieces and whole murals. Most of it's old, faded by years of Portland rain, but some of it's new, fresh. Someone painted a message in bright green letters across the retaining wall. They're waiting. Lily sees it, reads it aloud. They're waiting. For what? Don't know. Don't care. Just keep moving. We reach the top of the access ramp at 7:12 a.m. The upper deck stretches out in front of us. 2 lanes of traffic, maybe 1,800 feet across. The surface is concrete, cracked and patched in places. There are abandoned cars, A Subaru with its driver's door open, a pickup truck with a smashed windshield, but the center lane is mostly clear. And below us, on the lower deck, the infected are still standing. I can see them through the metal grating. Hundreds of them, motionless, silent except for that low humming. Stay in the middle, I tell Lily. Don't look down. Don't stop. Just pedal. She nods, starts forward. I follow. The bridge is swaying. I notice it about 30 seconds into the crossing. Just a slight movement, barely perceptible, but it's there. The whole structure shifting under us. Not from wind. There's no wind this morning, just dead air, but from the weight below. 300 bodies standing on the lower deck, and the bridge is designed for movement, for traffic, for distribution of force. But this is different. This is static weight, concentrated mass. The bridge is swaying, and I can feel it in my legs as I pedal. Lily feels it too. She wobbles slightly, overcorrects, nearly clips the guardrail on the left side. Easy, I call out. Just keep straight. I am keeping straight, she snaps back. The bridge is moving. She's right. The sway is getting worse. Not dramatic, not earthquake level, but noticeable. Each time we pedal forward, the deck seems to shift slightly beneath us, like riding on something alive. We're maybe 200 feet onto the bridge when I hear the humming change. It's still the same pitch, the same low frequency, but now it's got a rhythm. A pulse, like a heartbeat translated into sound. And it's coming from directly below us. I make the mistake of looking down through the metal grating. They're moving, not walking, not yet, but shifting, swaying in time with the bridge's movement. Hundreds of bodies rocking back and forth, like they're part of the structure itself. And their faces, I can see their faces through the grating, are all turned up, looking at us. Dad? Lily says, and I can hear the panic rising. Dad? They're looking at us. Keep pedaling. They're all looking at us. Keep pedaling, she does. We both do. Pushing harder now, legs burning, trying to build speed on a surface that won't stay stable. The bridge sway is worse now, definitely worse, and I can hear metal groaning. Not the sound of catastrophic failure. I've worked construction. I know what that sounds like, but stress, protest. The bridge wasn't designed for this. We're 400 feet across when the humming becomes a sound. Not words, not language, but vocalization. Hundreds of throats producing the same note, and that note is climbing, rising in pitch, getting louder, and the infected on the lower deck are starting to move their arms. I see it through the grating. Arms lifting, hands reaching up, not coordinated, not yet, but testing, exploring, like they're just now remembering they have limbs. Faster. I tell Lily, I'm going as fast as I can. She's not. I can see she's scared, and fear makes you clench up, makes you inefficient. But I don't tell her that because she's 13 and terrified, and we're trapped on a bridge above a herd of infected who are starting to wake up. 600 feet across. The abandoned Subaru is on our right. I glance inside as we pass, empty. Blood on the steering wheel but no body. Driver escaped or was pulled out. Hard to tell. The pickup truck is ahead, blocking most of the right lane, forcing us to swerve left. That's when I see the graffiti. Someone spray-painted the side of the truck. Fresh paint, probably from yesterday or the day before. Neon pink letters 3 feet high. They climb at noon. Fuck. I say louder than I mean to. What? Lily calls back. Nothing. Just keep moving. But I'm checking my watch. 7:17 a.m. We've got time. Plenty of time. Noon is hours away. We'll be across in 5 minutes, 10 max. We'll be in Gresham by 9. We'll be safe. The bridge lurches. Not a sway. A lurch. The whole structure shifting 6 inches to the right, then back to center. Lily screams. I nearly lose control of my bike, my front wheel catching on a crack in the concrete. Below us, the humming stops. Complete silence. I make another mistake. I stop pedaling. I put my foot down. I look through the grating. They're all still looking up, Hundreds of faces turned toward us. And they're not moving anymore, not swaying, not reaching, just watching. Dad, Lily's voice is small. Why'd you stop? Just give me a second. I'm trying to understand what I'm seeing, trying to make sense of the pattern. The infected below us are arranged in clusters, not random, deliberate. They're grouped around the bridge's support pillars, around the stress points, around the places where weight matters most. They're not just standing on the bridge, they're loading it. We need to go, I say, right now, as fast as you can. What did you see? Go, she goes. We both go, pedaling hard, legs screaming, lungs burning. The bridge is groaning now, a constant metal sound like a ship in a storm. 800 feet across, 1,000. We're past the midpoint, the river flowing dark and thick below us, and the east side is visible ahead. The access ramp. Safety. Maybe. That's when they start climbing. I don't see it at first. I'm focused on the road ahead, on keeping my bike straight, on watching Lily's purple helmet bobbing in front of me. But I hear it. A new sound. Scraping. Metal on metal. And then I look left, toward the guardrail that separates the upper deck from the lower. A hand comes over the edge, then another, then a head. They're climbing the support structure, using the steel beams and cross braces as a ladder, pulling themselves up onto the upper deck. Not fast, not zombie movie fast, slow, deliberate, but they're doing it. They're coming up. Lily, I scream. Don't look back. Just pedal. She looks back anyway, sees what I see, sees the first infected pulling itself over the guardrail, standing up on the upper deck behind us. Then a second, then 5 more, and they start walking toward us. Not running, walking, but that same synchronized movement, that same unified purpose. Like they're all receiving the same signal. Dad, they're coming. I know. Pedal. 1,100 feet across. 1,200. The east side access ramp is right there, maybe 600 feet ahead. I can see it. I can see the street beyond, empty and clear. We can make it. We have to make it. More infected are climbing up. Maybe 20 now. 30. They're coming over the guardrail all along the bridge span, pulling themselves up with that same slow purpose. And they're all walking toward us. Converging. The bridge lurches again, harder this time, 8 inches to the left, then a foot to the right, the entire structure bucking like it's trying to throw us off. Lily's bike wobbles. She catches herself, but barely. The bridge is collapsing, she screams. It's not collapsing. Just keep going. But I don't know if that's true. The groaning is constant now, and I can feel the deck shifting beneath us with every pedal stroke. The infected loading the lower level, the ones climbing to the upper. It's too much weight, too much stress on a structure that's over 100 years old. 1,300 feet. The infected are 50 feet behind us now, walking steadily, not gaining much ground because we're on bikes and they're on foot, but they don't need to gain ground. They just need to be there, following, hurting. That's when I understand. They're not trying to catch us. They're trying to collapse the bridge. Lily, I shout. We need to get off. Now. I'm trying. 1,400 feet. The access ramp is 300 feet ahead. So close. But the bridge is bucking worse now, the sway becoming a shake, and I can hear something new. Cracking. Concrete cracking. Not the surface, but deeper. Structural. More infected are climbing up. Maybe 100 on the upper deck now. All walking toward us, all adding their weight to a bridge that's already overloaded. Dad, I can't. Lily's bike hits a crack, a big one of those patch sections where the concrete has failed and been repaired with asphalt. Her front wheel catches. She goes over the handlebars. I see it happen in slow motion, her body rising, her arms reaching out, her head angling down. The helmet will protect her. The helmet has to protect her. She hits the concrete shoulder first, rolls, stops. I'm off my bike before I realize I've dismounted. running to her, lifting her up. She's crying but moving, arms and legs working, nothing broken. "I'm okay," she gasps. "I'm okay. I know. I've got you." Her bike is 10 feet away. Front wheel bent, frame twisted. Unrideable. The infected are 100 feet back. Walking, I look at my bike. Look at Lily. Look at the access ramp 200 feet ahead. "Get on," I tell her. "On the back. We're riding double." "Dad, your bike can't." "Get on." She gets on, stands on the rear axle pegs, holds onto my shoulders. I start pedaling. The bike wobbles under the double weight, but it moves. Slower, much slower, but it moves. 1,500 feet. The infected are 75 feet back. Still walking, but more are climbing up. The upper deck is packed with them now. Maybe 200, maybe more. And the bridge is actively shaking, the entire structure vibrating like a guitar string. "Dad, we're not going to make it." "Yes, we are. The bridge is going to collapse." "It's not going to collapse until we're off it." "How do you know?" "Because I said so." Terrible logic. Dad logic. But she stops arguing, just holds on tighter as I pedal. 1,600 feet. The access ramp is 100 feet ahead. I can see the street beyond, see actual sunlight, see the possibility of safety. The bike is screaming under the double weight, gears grinding, chain slipping. My legs are on fire. My lungs are burning. Lily's sobbing into my back, terrified but holding on. The infected are 50 feet behind us. The bridge gives one more massive lurch. This one is different. Not a sway, not a shake, a drop. The entire center span dropping 6 inches and then catching on something. Support beam, cable, something. But it's coming down. The bridge is coming down. "Hold on." I scream. I stand up on the pedals. Put every ounce of strength I have left into pushing. The bike lurches forward. 50 feet to the ramp. 25 feet. 10. The bridge gives a sound like the end of the world. Metal screaming. Concrete cracking, cables snapping. The center span is collapsing, the whole middle section dropping toward the river. I can feel it falling beneath us, can feel gravity starting to win. We hit the access ramp at exactly 7:34 a.m. I know because I see a clock on a bank building as we reach solid ground, and my brain registers the time even as I'm skidding to a stop, even as I'm pulling Lily off the bike, even as I'm dragging her away from the bridge. We make it 50 feet before we turn around. The steel bridge is collapsing in sections. Not all at once, that would almost be merciful, quick, conclusive. Instead, it's going piece by piece, segment by segment, the failure cascading from the center span outward. The middle section drops first, the part where we were riding just seconds ago. It falls maybe 20 feet before catching on the support structure, dangling at an angle like a broken bone. The infected are still on it. I can see them through the smoke and the dust and the distance. Still walking, still moving toward the east side. Even as the deck beneath them tilts 45 degrees. Even as some of them slide, tumble, fall into the river below. The rest keep walking, climbing up the angled surface like it's a ramp instead of a collapsing bridge. "They're still coming," Lily whispers beside me. She's right, they are. Not all of them. Maybe 30 or 40 made it to the intact eastern section before the center span fell. They're on solid ground now, on the approach ramp, walking toward us with that same slow purpose. "We need to move," I say, but I'm frozen, watching the bridge die, watching the center span twist and groan and finally break completely. It drops into the Willamette with a sound like thunder, sending up a spray of water that soaks the lower deck. The infected who were still on it, maybe 100 of them, fall with it. They disappear into the dark water, and I wait to see if they'll surface. They don't. The water just swallows them. "Dad." Lily's tugging at my arm. "Dad." The infected on the approach ramp are closer. 20 feet away. 15. I snap out of it. Grab the bike. It's damaged. Bent frame. Chain hanging loose, but I try anyway. Push off. The chain catches. Snaps. The bike's dead. Run, I tell Lily. We run. East on Northeast Oregon Street. Legs already exhausted from the crossing, lungs already burning. But we run because the alternative is being caught. I can hear them behind us. Not running, just walking, but constant, relentless. The street is empty. Abandoned cars everywhere. Storefronts smashed. A coffee shop with its windows broken. Tables and chairs spilled onto the sidewalk. A convenience store with its security gate bent back. Interior ransacked. We run 3 blocks before I realize we're not alone. There are other people. Living people. I see them in windows. Faces behind curtains watching us run. Watching the infected follow. Not helping. Just watching. Why aren't they helping? Lily gasps. Would you? She doesn't answer. We cut north on MLK Boulevard, trying to put distance between us and our pursuers. My watch says 7:41 a.m. We've been off the bridge for 7 minutes. Feels like hours. The infected are still behind us. I look back every half block, and they're there. Maybe 100 feet back. Walking. Not gaining much ground because we're running and they're walking. But they're not stopping. They're not giving up. They're just following. Where are we going? Lily asks. Good question. Aunt Patricia's house is in Gresham, at least 10 miles from here. We don't have bikes anymore. We don't have a car. We don't have anything except what's in our backpacks and the clothes we're wearing. We need to find transport, I say. A car with keys. A bike shop. Something. Everything's looted. Then we find something that's not looted yet. We turn east on Northeast Hancock Street, heading deeper into the Lloyd district. More abandoned cars here. More broken windows. A bus is stopped in the middle of the street, doors open, driver's seat empty. I check inside, nothing useful. No keys in the ignition. The infected round the corner behind us. Still following. Still walking. I'm starting to understand something. They're not just following us. They're hurting us. Away from the river. Away from the bridges. East into the city. We need to hide. I tell Lily. Get out of sight. Break their line of pursuit. Where? I look around. Office buildings. Apartment complexes. Parking garage. The parking garage might work. Multiple levels, lots of cars, places to hide. And maybe we'll find a vehicle with keys. There, I say, pointing. The garage. We sprint across the street. The entrance is open, the barrier gate stuck in the up position. We slip inside, into the cool concrete dimness. The first level is packed with cars. Civics and Corollas and Priuses. Commuter vehicles for people who worked downtown before the world ended. I start checking them systematically, looking through windows for keys. Nothing. Everyone took their keys when they fled. Second level, I say. We take the stairs. Lily's limping. She twisted something when she fell off the bike. But she's keeping up. We hit the second level, start checking cars again. A Volkswagen. A Tesla. An old pickup truck with a gun rack. The pickup has keys in the ignition. Here, I breathe. Here, this one. I try the door. Locked. But the driver's window is cracked open about 2 inches. I reach in, fumble for the lock, pop it, open the door, slide into the driver's seat. The keys are there. I turn them. The engine cranks but doesn't catch. I try again. Same result. Cranking but no ignition. No, I whisper. No, 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 come on. Third try. Fourth. The battery's good, but something else is wrong. Fuel pump maybe, or the engine's just done. Seized up, dead from sitting too long. Dad, Lily says from outside the truck. Dad, they're here. I look toward the garage entrance. The infected are filing in. Not the ones who followed us, more. Way more. Maybe 200. They're coming in from the street level, walking up the ramps, filling the parking structure. And they're not walking anymore. They're running. Out. I yell. Out of the truck. We abandon it. Sprint for the stairs on the far side of the garage. The infected are pouring in now, hundreds of them, and that humming sound is back. Louder, more intense, vibrating through the concrete structure. We hit the stairs. 3rd level. 4th, roof access. There's a door at the top, metal with a push bar. I slam into it, expecting it to be locked. It opens. We stumble onto the roof of the parking garage at 7:58 a.m. For stories up. Downtown Portland spread out to the west, the east side neighborhoods stretching away to the south and east. I can see smoke rising from a dozen different locations. Can see other bridges, Morrison, Hawthorne, Ross Island, all of them collapsed or collapsing. All of them dropping into the river. They were all overloaded. All of them strategically collapsed at the same time. This wasn't random, I say aloud. What? Lily's bent over, hands on knees, trying to catch her breath. The bridges, the infected loading them, collapsing them at the same time. It's coordinated. They're cutting off the west side from the east. Why would they do that? I don't have an answer. The door behind us slams open. Infected pour out. 50 of them. 100. They're not running anymore, back to that purposeful walk. But there's nowhere for us to go. We're on a roof. For stories up. No fire escape. No adjacent buildings close enough to jump to. We're trapped. Lily grabs my hand. Squeezes it. Dad, I'm scared. I know, baby. Me too. The infected are 20 feet away. Forming a line. Not attacking. Just standing there. Staring at us. And then they part. Down the middle. Like the Red Sea. Creating a pathway. Someone walks through. Not infected. Living. A woman in her 60s. Gray hair. Wearing a postal worker's uniform. She's got a name tag. Denise. You're Riley Mackenzie, she says. Not a question. A statement. How do you? We've been watching you since you left your apartment. The bikes. The bridge. The run here. Very impressive. Who's we? She smiles. Doesn't answer. Just gestures to the infected around her. They've been very patient. Following you. Hurting you. They're good at that. Very organized when they want to be. What do you want? Same thing everyone wants. Safety. Community. Purpose. She looks at Lily. Is this your daughter? I step in front of Lily. Don't. Relax. We're not going to hurt her. Or you. That would be wasteful. You're both healthy, strong, resourceful. The kind of people who'll survive what's coming. What is coming? Denise's smile widens. Evolution, Riley. We're cutting the city in half. West side for the infected. East side for the living. Then we'll see which group adapts better. You're insane. Maybe. Or maybe I'm the only sane one left. She turns to leave. Stops. Looks back. The bridges are down. But there are boats at Cathedral Park. If you can get there by noon, you might make it across. After noon, she shrugs. Well, the next phase begins. She walks back through the line of infected. They close behind her. Then, as one, they all turn and walk back toward the stairs. Back down into the parking garage, leaving us alone on the roof. What just happened? Lily whispers. I don't know, but I do know. I know we have until noon to get to Cathedral Park. I know the bridges are gone. I know something is orchestrating this, dividing the city, testing us. I check my watch. 8:12 a.m., 3 hours and 48 minutes until noon. Can we make it? Lily asks. I look north. Cathedral Park is maybe 5 miles from here, on foot, through a city full of infected. With my daughter who's already injured and exhausted. Yeah, I lie. We can make it. She doesn't believe me, but she takes my hand anyway. We start walking. We leave the parking garage at 8:19 a.m. through a service exit on the north side. The infected are gone. Actually gone, not hiding or waiting, and the street is eerily quiet. Like the moment after a storm when everything's still and you're not sure if it's really over or just the eye of the hurricane. Lily's limping worse now. That fall from the bike did more damage than she admitted. Her left ankle is swelling, visible even through her sneaker. We need to wrap that, I tell her. We need to keep moving, she counters. She's right, but I stop anyway. Make her sit on a bus bench while I dig through my backpack for the first aid kit. Ace bandage, compression wrap, whatever the hell it's called. I kneel in front of her, unlace her shoe gently. The ankle is purple and swollen to twice its normal size. Jesus, Lily, this might be broken. It's not broken. I can walk. Walking on a broken ankle will make it worse. Then I guess we'll find out if it's broken, she says, and pulls her foot away before I can wrap it. Dad, that woman said noon. It's 8:20. We have less than 4 hours, and you said Cathedral Park is 5 miles away. So we've got time. Not if we stop every 10 minutes. She's got her mom's stubbornness. That same refusal to acknowledge weakness even when weakness is screaming for attention. I loved that about her mom. I hate it in my daughter because I know what it costs. At least let me wrap it while we walk, I say. She agrees to that compromise. I get the bandage around her ankle while we're moving, wrapping it tight, trying to provide support without cutting off circulation. She winces but doesn't complain. We head north on MLK, then cut west on any Halsey. The sun's higher now, the light harsh and unforgiving. It illuminates every broken window, every ransacked store, every abandoned car with its doors hanging open like broken jaws. There are bodies, not many, maybe one every few blocks, but they're there, lying in doorways, slumped against walls. I try to steer Lily away from them, but there's no way to avoid them all. She sees them, registers them, keeps walking. At 8:47 a.m., we hit Broadway. The street runs north-south, cutting straight through to the industrial area near the river. If we follow it all the way, we should hit Cathedral Park around 11:30. Plenty of time. That's when we hear the helicopters. Military. 2 of them. Black Hawks flying low over the city, heading west. They pass directly overhead, close enough that I can feel the rotor wash, see the door gunners mounted in the side doors. They're not shooting, just observing, documenting. They're leaving, Lily says. They're patrolling. Dad, they're heading away from the city. They're leaving. I want to tell her she's wrong, but I can't, because she's not. The helicopters are heading west, toward the hills, toward whatever's left of the National Guard staging areas. They're not coming back. We keep walking. At 9:15 a.m., we pass a fire station. The bay doors are open, the truck's still inside. I check them. Maybe we can drive one, maybe there's a working radio, but they've been stripped. Equipment gone. Hoses cut. Someone got here first and took everything useful. There's writing on the wall in orange spray paint. Harbor Drive clear until 10 a.m. Harbor Drive, I say. That's the waterfront road. Runs north along the river. Is that faster than Broadway? Maybe, but more exposed. If they're saying it's only clear until 10, that means the infected are on some kind of schedule. Everything's on a schedule, Lily says quietly. That woman, the bridges collapsing at the same time, the helicopters leaving. It's all timed. She's right. I've been trying not to think about it, but she's right. This isn't chaos. This is orchestrated. Someone or something is directing the infected, coordinating them, using them to reshape the city according to some plan we don't understand. We keep heading north on Broadway. At 9:33 a.m., we hear screaming, not close, maybe 2 blocks east. A woman's voice, high and desperate, calling for help. Then silence. Then nothing. Lily stops walking. We should keep moving, I finish. Dad, someone's in trouble. Everyone's in trouble. We can't save everyone. We're not trying to save everyone. Just her. Just one person. I look at my daughter, 13 years old. Purple helmet hanging from her backpack. Ankle wrapped but still swollen. Face dirty and tear-streaked. And she wants to run toward the screaming. No, I tell her. We keep moving north. But, Lily, I love that you want to help. I love that about you. But if we stop to help everyone we hear, we won't make it to Cathedral Park. We won't make it to the boats. We'll die trying to save someone who's already dead. She stares at me. When did you become this person? When keeping you alive became the only thing that mattered. She doesn't respond to that, just turns and starts walking again. But the space between us feels wider now, like I've failed some test I didn't know I was taking. We reached the industrial area at 10:08 a.m. This is the part of Portland most people don't see. Warehouses and shipping facilities and freight rail yards. The working guts of the city, hidden from the trendy neighborhoods and craft breweries. It's always been a little rough, a little forgotten. Now it's completely abandoned. The street is wider here, less cover, more exposure. I can see all the way to the river, maybe half a mile ahead. And I can see the boats at Cathedral Park. Small dots on the water, maybe 5 of them, maybe 6. There, I tell Lily, pointing. See them? The boats. We're almost there. She nods, doesn't smile, just keeps limping forward. That's when the humming starts again, low, resonant, coming from everywhere and nowhere. I stop walking, listen, try to locate the source. Dad! Lily's voice is tight with fear. The infected pour out of the warehouses, not dozens, hundreds, maybe 1,000. They come from the loading docks, from the side streets, from the rail yards, forming a line across the entire width of the street, blocking our path to the river. And they're not walking, they're standing, just standing there, humming, waiting. Back, I say, slowly. Don't run, don't. Behind us, more infected emerge, cutting off our retreat. We're boxed in, trapped between 2 walls of bodies in the middle of an industrial street with nowhere to hide. I check my watch. 10:14 a.m., less than 2 hours until noon. The infected in front of us part. Same as before, creating a pathway. And someone walks through, not Denise this time. A man, young, maybe late 20s, wearing a FedEx uniform. Name tag says Blake. Riley McKenzie, he says. Same way Denise said it, like he's confirming an appointment. You're making good time. What do you want? To help. He gestures to the infected around us. They're not going to hurt you. Not yet. But you need to understand the situation. The boats at Cathedral Park leave at 11:30. Not noon. Denise was optimistic with her timeline. Why are you telling me this? Because we want you to succeed. You and your daughter. You've shown remarkable resilience, adaptability, the kind of traits we need in the population that survives the East Side. Population. Lily speaks up beside me. You're treating this like an experiment. Blake smiles. Smart girl. Yes, experiment is a good word. We're selecting for specific traits, removing the weak, preserving the strong. The bridges were just the first phase, separating the populations. Next comes the real test. What test? Survival. The East Side will have limited resources. No infrastructure, no power grid, no supply chains. Only the most capable will make it through the winter. He looks at me. But you'll make it. You're a planner, prepper. You had a bug-out bag ready before this even started. How do you know that? We've been watching everyone, cataloging, assessing. You're one of the good ones, Riley. We want you to live. What about everyone else? Everyone else will either prove their worth or become part of the infected population. Either way, they'll serve a purpose. I feel rage building, hot and sharp. You're killing people, categorizing them, deciding who lives and dies. Nature's been doing that since the beginning of time. We're just accelerating the process. You're insane, maybe, but I'm also giving you information you need to survive. The boats leave at 11:30. It's 10:18 now. You have 1 hour and 12 minutes to cover half a mile. Normally, that would be easy, but he gestures to the infected blocking our path. They're going to make it challenging. Why? Because easy doesn't select for anything. Difficulty reveals character. He walks back through the line of infected. They close behind him. Then, as one, they all start walking toward us. Both sides, converging, slowly, giving us just enough space to move, to react, to run. Go! I scream at Lily. We run. East first, the only direction not blocked, then north through a rail yard. The infected follow but don't chase. They maintain that slow walk, that purposeful pace, hurting us, directing us. I see what they're doing. They're forcing us to take a longer route, making us burn time and energy, testing whether we can navigate obstacles while exhausted and terrified. We cut through a fence. I use my pocket knife to cut the chain link, making a hole big enough to squeeze through. My hands are shaking. The metal cuts my palm. I don't feel it. Lily goes through first. I follow. We're in another industrial lot, full of shipping containers stacked 3 high. A maze of metal boxes creating corridors and dead ends. The infected are at the fence behind us. Walking through the hole I cut. Still following. Still hurting. This way, I tell Lily, choosing a path between containers at random. We run. Turn left. Right. Left again. The containers all look the same. Rusted metal, faded paint, corporate logos from shipping companies that probably don't exist anymore. We hit a dead end. A wall of containers stacked 4 high, blocking our path. Climb, I tell Lily. Dad, my ankle. Climb. She climbs, using the corrugated metal sides as handholds, pulling herself up. I boost her from below, then follow. My arms are screaming. My legs are jelly. But I climb. We reach the top of the second container. From here, I can see the river. See Cathedral Park. See the boats. They're preparing to leave. I can see people boarding. See the boats pulling away from the dock. I check my watch. 10:47 a.m. They're leaving early, I say. Blake lied, Lily says. He said 11:30, but they're leaving now. She's right. The boats are moving. Not all of them. 2 are still at the dock, but 3 have already pulled away, heading north up the river. We need to go, I tell her. Jump to the next container, then the next. We can cross the rail yard from up here. She nods. We jump, container to container. The gaps are maybe 4 feet. Easy under normal circumstances. Terrifying when you're exhausted and 40 feet off the ground. Lily makes the first jump. Second. On the third, she slips. Her left foot, the injured ankle, lands wrong on the far container. She pitches forward, starts to fall. I grab her backpack, haul her back from the edge. We both collapse on the metal surface, gasping. I can't, she sobs. Dad, I can't do this. Yes, you can. My ankle's broken. I can barely walk. And they're hurting us like animals and… Lily, I grab her shoulders, make her look at me. You are the strongest person I know. Stronger than me. Stronger than your mom was. And we are getting on one of those boats. Understood. She nods, wipes her face, stands up. We keep jumping. At 11:02 a.m., we reach the far side of the container yard. We climb down, drop the last 6 feet to the ground. My knees scream when I land. Lily collapses, gets back up. The infected are still behind us. Always behind us. Walking, hurting, testing. We're 2 blocks from Cathedral Park now. I can see the dock. See the 2 remaining boats. See people running toward them, boarding, the captains preparing to cast off. Run, I tell Lily. We run. 1 block. Half a block. The infected are closer now, closing the gap, adjusting their pattern to cut off our angles. We hit the park entrance at 11:09 a.m. The dock is 100 yards ahead. The boats are there. One of them is pulling away. The last one is preparing to leave. Don't leave, I scream. We're here. Don't leave. The captain looks up, sees us, sees the infected behind us. He hesitates. Please, Lily screams. He makes a decision, throws a rope onto the dock. Hurry. We hurry, across the grass, across the parking lot, onto the wooden dock. The boat is maybe 30 feet ahead. 20 feet. 10. The infected are on the dock behind us. Running now. Actually running. The test is over. The herding is done. Now they're trying to catch us. 5 feet from the boat. 3 feet. I shove Lily forward. She jumps. Lands on the deck. Safe. I jump a second later. The captain guns the engine. The boat pulls away from the dock just as the infected reach the end. They don't stop. Don't slow down. Just walk straight off the edge into the water. They sink. All of them, just like on the bridge. They walk into the water and disappear. I watch from the boat's railing as hundreds of infected march off Cathedral Park dock and vanish into the Willamette. Not drowning, not struggling, just sinking, like they've served their purpose and are now removing themselves from the equation. Jesus Christ, the captain mutters beside me. What the hell are they? I don't answer. Don't have an answer. Lily's sitting on the deck, crying. Is it beside here? Pull her close. We made it, she whispers. Yeah, we made it. The boat heads north, up the river, away from Portland, away from the bridges, away from the infected. I check my watch. 11:14 a.m., 46 minutes before noon. The boat is a commercial fishing vessel. 30 feet long, diesel engine, cabin that smells like fish guts and oil. There are 12 of us on board. Me and Lily, a family of 4 parents and 2 kids under 10. An elderly couple, 2 men in their 20s, and the captain whose name is Vincent. Nobody talks. We just sit on the deck, watching Portland shrink behind us, watching the smoke rise from downtown, watching the collapsed bridges jutting from the water like broken teeth. At 11:28 a.m., Vincent cuts the engine. We're maybe 2 miles north of Cathedral Park. The river is wide here, the current slow. The east bank is visible to our right, warehouses and industrial facilities. The west bank to our left is residential. Houses with docks, boats tied up to moorings. Why are we stopping? One of the men asks. Vincent doesn't answer, just points south. The other boats, the ones that left before us, are turning around. All of them, heading back toward Portland, back toward Cathedral Park, back toward the infected. What are they doing? Lily asks. I watch the boats, watch them reach Cathedral Park, watch people on board jumping into the water, swimming for shore, watch them reach the dock, watch them climb out, and then I watch them start walking, that same synchronized walk, that same purposeful movement. They're infected. I say quietly, everyone on those boats, they were infected the whole time, but they were running. One of the women protests. They were acting normal. They were acting, I finish. They were acting normal to get people on the boats, to move them, to test them. Vincent finally speaks. The woman at the dock. When I was loading up, she told me to wait until 11:10. Said anyone who showed up before that was already infected. Anyone after might be clean. He looks at us. You two showed up at 11:09. Cut it real fucking close. I remember Blake's words. The boats leave at 11:30. But that was a lie. The real deadline was earlier. Anyone who made it to the boats before 11:10 was someone the infected wanted to move. Anyone after was someone they wanted to let escape. Another test, another selection. So we're clean? The elderly man asks. All of us. Maybe, Vincent says. Or maybe we're infected and just don't know it yet. Maybe it takes time to activate. Maybe he stops himself, shakes his head. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. At exactly noon, something happens. I feel it before I see it. Pressure. Like the air suddenly got heavier, denser. Then a sound. Not the humming. Something deeper. Subsonic. Felt in the chest rather than heard with the ears. Everyone on the boat feels it. We all go quiet, listening, waiting. On shore, both shores, east and west, the infected emerge. Thousands of them, tens of thousands. They come out of buildings, out of warehouses, out of homes. They walk to the water's edge, stand there, staring at the river, and then they start walking into the water. All of them. They don't swim, don't float, just walk straight in and sink. Like on the dock, like on the bridge, walking into the river and disappearing beneath the surface. Oh my God. One of the women whispers, "They're drowning themselves." But I don't think they're drowning. I think they're going somewhere, relocating. The water's not killing them, it's transporting them. We watch for 10 minutes, 20. The infected keep coming, keep walking into the river. The water must be full of them now. Hundreds of thousands of bodies sinking to the bottom, walking along the riverbed toward. What's downstream? What's their destination? At 12:23 p.m., the last of them enters the water. The shores are empty. Portland is empty. Vincent starts the engine again. We need to get to Gresham, to the east side suburbs. Find out if anyone else made it. He steers the boat east, toward a marina. We dock at 12:45 p.m. The marina is abandoned but intact. No bodies, no infected, just empty slips and boats swaying in their moorings. We disembark, stand on the dock. Nobody knows what to do next. My aunt lives in Gresham, I tell Vincent. About 3 miles from here. We could walk, or we could stay here, he counters. The boat's got fuel. We've got the river. We can travel, scout, find other survivors. Split up, one of the younger men suggests. Some stay with the boat, some go inland. We meet back here in 6 hours. It's a reasonable plan. We agree to it. Me and Lily volunteer to go inland. So does the family of 4 and one of the young men. The rest stay with the boat. We start walking at 1 p.m. The streets are quiet, empty. Every car abandoned, every house silent. But there's no damage here, no broken windows, no looting. It's like everyone just left. Where did they go? Lily asks. I don't know, but I have theories. The infected walked into the river. The helicopters flew west. The boats returned to shore. Everything was timed, coordinated. And that woman, Denise, said they were dividing the city. West side for the infected, east side for the living. But what if that was another lie? What if the real division was different? What if they weren't separating infected from living? What if they were separating the people who would fight from the people who would follow? The people who would cross a collapsing bridge from the people who would shelter in place? The people who would run toward the screaming from the people who would walk past it? Selection. We reach Aunt Patricia's house at 2:17 p.m. It's exactly as I remember. 2-story craftsman, big front yard, vegetable garden in back. The front door is unlocked. I go in first. Patricia? It's Riley. Patricia? No answer. We search the house. Nothing. No signs of struggle. No blood. No bodies. Just an empty house with the TV still on, showing static, and a pot of coffee still on the burner, burned down to sludge. Lily finds a note on the kitchen table. Dad, she says. Look, the note is in Patricia's handwriting. Just one line. They offered us something better. That's all. No explanation. No signature. Just that. I sit down at the kitchen table, suddenly exhausted, suddenly understanding. They didn't divide the city, I tell Lily. They gave people a choice. Stay and fight, or join them and… what? Evolve? Transform? Become part of whatever they're becoming. And Aunt Patricia chose them. Lily finishes. Yeah. We sit in silence for a long time. Finally, Lily speaks. What do we do now? Good question. The infected are in the river. The bridges are down. The city is empty. We've got a house with supplies, a boat at the marina, and 12 survivors who made it through the selection process. We survive, I tell her. We find others. We rebuild. We figure out what comes next. And if they come back, then we deal with it. She nods, takes my hand. We sit there in Patricia's kitchen, listening to the silence of an empty city. and I record this final log entry into Lily's voice recorder. This is Riley Mackenzie. October 15th, 2:34 p.m. We crossed the bridge. We survived the selection. We made it to the other side. But I don't think the test is over. I think it's just beginning. End recording.